throwing it out there, and we will own up and start working on some of these. If you look at our natural ingredients and we look at our cultural rituals, some of the things we could do, and I'm thinking, like I said, spa treatments, could we borrow? And I like you give an example of Thailand. I love Thailand. And you go to Thailand and they do the massages where they put the herbs and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
put together.
Yes.
We
Mm-hmm.
could start with things like that. So we're not necessarily going to
Sorry,
create something.
not crossing you, but that's not borrow. That's not borrow. If you follow the trade, you recognize. Good example. Sorry, not crossing her. I was one of our journeys in the Caribbean. There's a group in the Caribbean that they call the Maroons. They have them in Jamaica and they have them in Suriname. And one of my trips, I went into the interior in Suriname, and the Maroons was doing massages and explained the Maroons. These are people that came across the slave ship and they decided they don't want to be slaves. They ran away, go in the interior, set up their own compound, set up their, so they are not in touch with modern persons or modern. And when I went into those interiors, I saw those that have what they call a maroon massage, and these guys was using the same compress herbs and balls in oil to do those massages. So my question is this borrow or it was a part of their history? It's something that they brought across the Atlantic with them. So when I heard these like the stem treatment is I always think in my head, is really borrow or was really Africa is the creator of wellness, remember? Sorry, I didn't want to cross. Continue.
No, I like that. And we could argue it was taken from
It was
Africa
sick,
and taken
exactly.
across. And
Yeah.
this is why I started with, we had just, because the word wellness was
Mhm.
not there then, it's what we did that was doing life normal every day, nothing fancy. You wake up, typical normal day. That's what we did. We just
Mm.
were not able to package it. So, and it also means then it's not about a country having their own. There's some that we're going to have across. Because, I mean, when you think, and a rungu massage, rungu is something we have in Kenya. Rungu is something I've seen. When you think the commonalities in terms of, for example, if you're borrowing from the Bantu people. So there are those I
Mm.
think that will be borrowed or not borrowed. There are those that will cross. We think it's Kenyan and apparently somebody else thinks
Awaken,
yes.
awaken.
Are we?
Awaken. That's what I'm saying. Just reawaken. Yes. Not
Reawaken.
more.
That's actually the word. We are reawakening. We're reawakening. And now what we're going to do different is also add our storytelling into it. So that
Yeah.
because when they were done, there were stories behind it. Things like nutrition. I'm lucky I'm in the nutrition space. It's coming back. Before herbs and spices and all those were a trend. These are things we've been doing all along. So it's also coming
Mm.
back and incorporating that. So when we think of even what we serve after treatments in our spas, it could be we're giving, for example, rooibos tea, which instead of then giving something different, instead of people just giving juices and things like that, it could be. So those are some of the things I think we are able to incorporate while we are working on something bigger and something that will also, because then it's going to be a journey and it's going to be a continuation. This is the beginning of this conversation, but I feel those are some of the things we can do. But immediately starting our therapists, young talents, in training them, and while adding some of those.
Okay. Anyone else?
For my side, I really like to look our contents because we have the content is very rich with a lot of ingredients that we can add to our treatments. A lot of techniques that we can also, I mean, there is like some famous, of course, number one, it's in the content, the famous one, it's a hammam treatment. Not any big hotels don't have hammam treatment. Some other massages that's also familiar can be like a Kabalash massage. It is like East African. Another massage is called Runju massage. It's also East African. There is another massage also called Zulu massage. It's South African. So those techniques also we can, combine some of these massages to combine with our, related to our culture and our way of doing the treatments. So instead of looking to what other continents do, like Asia, we should look at like to Africa, because really it's very rich with so many things we can do with, in Africa. So my recommendation is we should look exactly what we have in our, on hand, what we need to do, and we have to create the standards based on exactly what we have on our hands. And this is the first step that we have to do.
But don't forget that,
And
not crossing you, don't forget, we have to get next step. We're not leaving here unless we have next step, okay, guys? So
yeah,
go ahead and just give me briefly, then we will dive in, because we have to keep in that we have a time limit here. So go ahead.
yeah. Another thing else she mentioned about calabash massage. Yes, of course. Calabash massage is a therapeutic assisted massage, which is I brought it in here in Europe, and I went around the world to show them that that is who we are. The calabash massage is an old African tree, indigenous tree that people now we use as a decor. Now I turn it for me as an equipment to massage people, and this is one of them that I'm using. That is one of the pieces that I'm using. So I won that the first golden medal with that, and European championship. They make it authorized that it's a under therapeutic massage. So which is good for sports massage, is good for blood flow, it's good for people who are injured, who were having an injury before, and then it's also good for people who wants to relieve themselves, to have a blood flow, and the lymphatic is good for the lymphatic flow. So I believe that we are very rich in Africa. Anything that you can use it for wellness center, because it's connected with nature. We have a nature, we connected with nature. Even the herbal balls, in the olden days, our ancestors were using herbal balls for healing. They're calling umbambato. You put herbs, and then in other countries they said there's herbal balls, but in our culture it's umbambato. You just use it as a healing in your skin. It's good for skin, it's good for your mental health, it's good for your spirituality. You feel that you are connected with your own ancestors, By the way, your ancestors within yourself. There's no ancestors that is outside. Your ancestors is within yourself. When you know how to connect with your spirituality, it's easy to use those type of the tools. That is part of nature within yourself. You bring it in, and then you show people that healing, you can bring healing through nature. You can bring healing within yourself, So I believe that what you said about calabash massage and other equipments, African, we have to bring it in our wellness center. It's very important. Yeah, it will bring a big difference.
So we talked about, we recognize that we are not lack in therapy.
No,
we are not lacking either. We are not lacking all of these things, but
we have within ourselves.
And I remember having this conversation in the Caribbean, and some of them, people might say, we say Obeah in the Caribbean. And if we try to bring Obeah within our space, some of the pushbacks that we will have. So some of the question I will have is like, how are we going to package these that it will be more acceptable? Not so much for to our visitors. Our visitors tend to enjoy this treatment, but we cannot survive in an industry based on visitors only. We also have to feed the industry with our people as well. And the question is going to be, how are we going to package these things for our people as well to be accepted? So one of the things that Waldo said is about training of trainers. I think that for us to really get up and going, I think one of the ideas I will bring after the seminar, based on our discussion before and now, is that we need to have a committee that continue after this day in terms of looking at training and development across the continent. Secondly, we have to look at something like training of the trainers. How do we set up maybe online, have discussions with persons that are interested in training of trainers. We can start with real discussions, what are looking for, transfer of knowledge, learning patterns, because different people learn differently. How do we tap into those persons and helping persons to really understand what it's like? And then third, we need to not only speak online, but as we said, we will continue the seminar next year. And I hope we're going to be a face-to-face where we can bring people into one room, focusing on African therapists, African development, Africa, all of those things. So I'm saying this to say to you, what are some of the, we asked the question before, what are things that, what is the next step? Training of trainers, what you see is what we will do from here on. What's the next step in your mind? And three things that we can do. It's three of us, three things that we can do.
Greetings. My name is Rose. I don't have a camera and image, but I can talk a little. If you can hear me. Yeah.
Is this a part of the panel? We are not to question and answer. Can we? I'm just speaking at the panel now before we run. We have like another 5 minutes, and then we have question and answer. Sorry about that. Okay, panel.
It was for everyone.
Sorry. I think I repeat myself, but I did not get exact step by step what to be done after today. Yeah.
Can I start from my side?
Yes.
As I mentioned before, number one step, we have to create our standard. We have to put our protocol. We have to put the treatment that is we planning to put or to implement in our spa. So after this, after we finish the standard protocol, treatment, everything in details about the guest experience, the whole experience for the guests, from before they join the spa until they have the treatment, until they finish the treatment in the spa. The second step is, of course, we have to look for the training. So we have to find the trainers who can do this. So we will look for the program that's a trainer program. After that, we will start implementing this all over the continent. This is
okay. Sorry. You didn't just finish up. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So on this point, if we find this standard and we find the training and we have everything matching with international, global international benchmark of the standard for the spa and wellness industry, then on that I think we should look for the having a connection with the global institutes. That is, we can connect our standard to be recognized globally, because it's so important. Because if we not having settled everything according to the benchmark of the standard all over the world, we have also to be connected with the world. We have to be part of the world. That is, we have to connect it with a global institution that is have good recognition in the spa and wellness industry.
Okay. Ken, how much minutes we have?
Hello, Steve. You have got 15.
15 minutes. So, so anyone else fast before we go to question and answer?
Yes.
Anyone else?
So, and without having to repeat what he has said, so we start with the curriculum, come up with those particular ones that you're working with. Curriculum will speak to the standards and all that. I feel for trainers, we could probably start with, before we even start afresh, we implement it by working with the trainers who are already available in the continent, and we can work with various schools. So before we even set up one particular institution per se, so start with that. And out of the current existing trainers, we will then be able to spread into others. I think a lot of schools also do have the trainer education, and that can be incorporated into it. And then in terms of going out is then we once again could use the current existing schools that are there to teach whatever, or the services, or the practices, the treatments that we come up with. So I think that becomes easier, and it's also easier to then spread it into the local, countries that we are, so that we are not just creating for the global market. We obviously want to consume our own and what it is that we're creating.
Okay, fast, 1 minute. Go ahead.
And one thing that I want to raise it. I heard that we are talking, but in this talking that we are talking, I think wellness, it's very important to recognize yourself, to embrace ourselves first, and to recognize our roots, where we're coming from, and then everything, it's becoming so easy if you as a therapist, you bring that thing in, because people, they see what we are doing to you. Like, if you want to heal yourself, if you want to bring out things, you practice what you preach out there. First, it has to be within you yourself before you just deliver whatever that is there. They will see the passion within you. They will see that fire. They will see that the portal of spirituality that you are having within, because all those things, it collaborate with the wellness center. You can never be a therapist if you're not healing yourself, if you don't know yourself, if you don't recognize yourself. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know where you're coming from and the roots, and it comes with the 3 central of that we have in our body, the root chakra, and that which is embracing yourself, your roots, and then it goes to the second surplus, whereby you bring out that spirituality that you have within yourself, or energy that you are having, that passion and that fire, you bring it out, and then you can walk on with your.
I'm hearing your passion. I'm hearing your passion. Sorry to cross you. I'm hearing your passion. We are not sorry, but we want to get into the. Sorry. We really want to get into the our guests. Questions and answers. Questions that might have anyone that have a question. Michelle will tell us. Will feed the questions to us. And then we can go from there. I'm sorry to cross you. Time is running out. We get excited. Okay. Yes. Any questions?
Hi, Steve. So we have a question from Arisha. If I'm pronouncing your name correctly, he asks, why do the spa properties why are they not hiring African therapists? That was the first question.
Anyone wants to? I think Waldo answered that question simply because most international brand is saying that the standard of the therapist is not what they're looking for. It's just an assumption. I only can assume because I'm not one of those properties. Maybe Waldo manage some of those properties, so he should be able to answer this one. Go ahead.
Okay, the point, as I have mentioned before, the main point, that is the people, they look for the accreditation from where they get learned. Because the main challenge that is most of the therapists who don't have education well, they are learn only movement. They not learn probably about the anatomy or physiology. So they don't have a knowledge. Even they can make something wrong with the guest, or when they do treatment, they can do some medical issue with the guest. So that's why the international hotel, they looking to have the people who really have qualified, not only because they have working in X hotel, 5 stars, blah, blah, blah. No, they should have a certification internationally that this is person certified to do this, to be a massage therapist. Why they not hire African? Because I think it's not about African. It's about if that person certified or not. If he has certification, he will find a good place to work in an international hotel. If you don't have a good certification, even if in another nationality, will not find this opportunity. This is my opinion.
Okay. So what we are saying, that we need to upskill training across the continent in terms of the whole aspect, anatomy, what I will call classical training. not just physical techniques, but also understanding the muscles, anatomy, physiology, the concept, spirituality, all of that goes as a therapist. So these are things that we will have to work on, because I think that we have to be the future.
Steve, if I
I
can
think
hop
I
in
will
quickly.
disagree with what Walid has
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, if I can just quickly add, in the properties that I've worked around the world, African therapists are ranked very highly. But Walid is correct. They need to get the formal qualification in order to be recognized.
Okay, so I've been in this industry for like over 2 decades, and I've traveled and I've worked with different therapists. What I've noticed is, I can't remember who said it, we first of all need to be consumers of our own production. Because when you look at Asia, the mentality is, if you want a good therapist, you go to Asia. If you want a good Thai massage, if you're looking for anything, you go to Asia. But if you want a good aesthetic, you go to South Africa. But never in time do we hear that if you want this, you go to this African country. It's very, very, very rare. Yes, but if you want a very good facial therapist, South Africa is ranked because of their kind of training. And have been a student in South Africa myself, so that I understand. So what we need, first of all, is to believe in our own production, to believe in our own therapists, to consume our own products, so that the world can become anxious and curious. What is Africa doing that is different? What is Africa? I remember when I stepped in, despite being a student of medical myself, having done a degree in medicine, it was still a difficult task for me to get into the industry, because first, I'm from Kenya. Never have they ever heard of a Kenyan therapist. So this is like over 20 years ago, I'm stepping in an industry, and the people are like, a therapist from Kenya? Why are you have a medicine in you? So it's different. But once they start seeing the passion in it, they start believing you, start consuming your own products.
Exactly.
Balinese massage in Bali, Thai massage in wherever, they start believing in what you're giving out. Once they see that passion, they see that, yes, you're bringing this, it's being consumed in your own continent. Then somebody is going to say, I went to this country, Africa, wherever it is, whichever country in Africa, I had this great experience. I had the Calabash massage, I have the Rungu massage, I had the Zulu massage, I had African wood massage. I had this. They use this amazing shea butter blended with authentic essential oils. I want it here. I want it in my country. Then the therapist will start coming out. That is what I can put in.
Yeah, so what we are saying is not that they are not there, it's just that they're not being highlighted. So we have to work, and that's why the African Initiative, that's why we are here, because our objective is to highlight Africa at every level, excellent across the board. And I think that's why this conversation is started, and we want to bring out the issues that is out there, that more and more we can address the issues that is out there, because my vision in 5 years, it must be Africa. You must be able to leave New York in the middle of summer, though my Africa is very cold, and go to Africa to get a massage treatment. So this is a vision that people leave from where they are to go across Africa for wellness. And this is where it's all started, guys, and is how do we make it happen, and just not saying it, but actually make it happen, okay? Thanks for coming, and it was a pleasure having all of you here.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you very
you.
much from everyone and the audience that stayed on the platform. I'm now going to hand over to Josephine to take us through to the next phase of our day 2 of the summit. Can you just give yourself a round of applause? Josephine, you can come through then. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.